This isn't like 2K19 where everybody has similar badges. This is completely different. Every player is going to be unique, and you're going to want to make your player the best as possible. But a lot of these badges, it's very difficult to understand the meaning of them and what they actually do. So in this video, I'm going to break everything down for you guys. I'm going to give you the top 10 best shooting badges in order. And after I'm done breaking them, I'm going to show you guys exactly the shooting badges that I put on my shooter, how I upgrade them to what tier, all that good stuff. But yeah, without further ado, let's get straight into this. Bang! Ranking in number 10, we have tireless score. Now, the definition of tireless score, according to 2K, is a player who can spend a good deal of energy without losing effectiveness when attempting to score. Now, this badge is very important, especially for the twos players out here. If you're running like a shot creator and a glass cleaner, or a sharpshooter and a glass cleaner, and you're completely out of energy, that's going to affect your shot a lot. That's going to affect the way you dribble. This badge will prevent you from losing energy. When you are out of energy, the effect will be way less drastic compared if you don't have this badge at all. This is a very important badge. It's an important badge every year. This would be higher on the list, but some of these badges that are ahead of tireless score are very important, so that's why it only ranks in number 10, but this is definitely a badge you're going to want to equip to your MyPlayer. At number 9, we have a new badge, which is called Green Machine, and the definition of Green Machine, according to 2K, is it increases the bonus given for consecutive excellent green releases. Now, this badge, you could rank this kind of depending on how good you are at timing your shot. If you're somebody who greens a lot of their shots compared to other players, this is the perfect badge to equip your player. This will, this will show a little bit more of a skill gap. If you're greening your shots, you're getting a bonus. Right after you green, 3 shots in a row, if you shoot a full bar, it's very likely to go in. I would upgrade this badge depending on how often you think you shoot greens. So that's why this was probably one of the hardest badges for me to rank, because I didn't know where to put it, because it kind of depends on the players. For me, I would probably put it higher than 9 if we're talking about my playing style, because I shoot a lot of greens. But yeah, if you're like an average player, say below average player, I would maybe use those upgrades somewhere else. Maybe have Green Machine on bronze. But yeah, for me, I would definitely equip Green Machine to my players. So this is number 9 on my list. Ranking in at number 8, we have Corner Specialist. Now, this was the second badge for me that was really hard to rank, because this is another badge that depends on the player a lot. If you were somebody, if you're playing with an ISO player who, is going to have the ball in his hands a lot of time and then dot you in the corner when you're open, this is one of the most important badges to have. If you're somebody who, just off-ball glitches a lot and, just doesn't really take shots from the corner too often, this badge isn't really relevant to you. So for me, I'm going to have this badge pretty high, because I take a lot of fades to the corner. I cut to the corner a lot on the inbounds and shit. So I really like having this badge very high. But yeah, it really depends on the player. It depends. You know your game better than me. If you shoot from the corner a lot, you could boost this badge a couple tiers up. I probably wouldn't recommend putting on Hall of Fame, just because there's so many very crucial, important badges that I have on Hall of Fame this year, and you really can't have every badge on Hall of Fame. Or else you're just missing out on some badges. But yeah, definitely equip this badge if you do take shots from the corner, maybe as high as gold. And yeah, that's for Corner Specialist right there. At number 7, we have another new badge set NBA 2K this year, and that is Flexible Release. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. If you are a very good player, why do you need Flexible Release? Flexible Release only helps the people that, get half bars, their shot timing isn't good. That'll still allow them to make, terrible shot releases at a pretty high rate. Now, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Even if you're the best player in the world, man, there's going to be times where you do have a bad bar. It's just reality. You can't shoot a very good bar every time. Even if you're an incredibly skilled shooter, you can time your shot very well. It's still good to have this as an insurance badge. At least put it on bronze. And for the people that are less skilled out there, you're going to want to upgrade this badge a good amount, because when you do shoot, poor bars and you have this badge equipped, I'm telling you, it will still be able to go in a very solid amount of time. You will feel the penalty for not having this badge if you have a bad shot timing, because it just won't go in at all. You never know. You could be lagging. You could be having an off day. This is a very good badge to have. It's an insurance badge. If you, have this badge with all the other important badges that I'll mention later on that are ranked higher than this, it's going to be really hard for you to miss, even when you don't have the best shot timing. I got flexible release number 7. Again, depends a lot on the player, but yeah, this will be almost a game-breaking badge this year, so I would at least have this badge on bronze. At number 6, and a lot of you guys may be very surprised at this, but we have catch and shoot. And before you click off the video, hear me out. The reason catch and shoot is this important is because it only applies in one circumstance, and that circumstance is you have about 2 seconds to shoot the ball after you catch it. If you don't shoot within those 2 seconds, this badge doesn't apply at all. So it's not a very versatile badge. Every single badge I have ahead of this badge will apply in all circumstances. No matter when you shoot the ball, the badge will still be effective. Yeah, I mean, catch and shoot is still a very good badge. If you're off balling, catch the ball, you shoot it right away. You know, having this badge high will be good. It's still a very important badge. Catch and shoot is probably the most common way to shoot the ball in 2K. But the badges ahead of this badge is so important. I just couldn't put it higher than 6. Again, it still does depend on your playing style. If you do catch and shoot a lot, I guess maybe you can move it higher on my list. But for me, these other badges were too crucial. Couldn't put any higher. Catch and shoot, still a very good badge. Definitely have it equipped to your shooter. But anyways, let's move on to number 5. At number 5, we have another new badge 2K20, and this is why I really want to make this video, because there's all these new badges. There's so much to discuss. You know, it really is hard to pick your badges, but I'm telling you, this steady shooter badge will help out so many of you guys. Basically, what it allows you to do is it allows you to make contested shots at a much higher rate. So it's kind of like Deep Range Deadeye from last year. And it gives a slight bonus to open shots. It's not a drastic, difference when you take an open shot, but there's never really a badge in previous 2Ks where you actually, get a bonus for taking open shots. You do with this badge. It's just very slight now. Because, it applies to all areas, no matter how you shoot the ball, when you shoot the ball, steady shooter will always apply, whether you're open or contested. In my mind, you're probably going to need this badge on Hall of Fame, alright? I don't think there's any way around it. I mean, I guess you could put it on gold, but for me, this is just an automatic Hall of Fame badge. Every single badge I have in the top 5, you're going to see when I, show my badges to you guys. I just couldn't keep it off Hall of Fame. They're all too important. But yeah, steady shooter, definitely a must-have badge. It's going to be very good this year, and yeah, that's why it's ranked this high. Steady shooter, make sure to have that equipped. Let's go into number 4. Now, out of all the new badges they added to NBA 2K20, this was the badge that I ranked the highest out of those badges. And the badge I picked was Quickdraw. And now the reason Quickdraw is debatably the most important shooting badge in the entire game is because you simply cannot, and I can't stress this enough, you cannot have a slow jumper in the park. If you have a slow jumper in the park, every single badge I've talked about in this video doesn't even matter, because you're just going to get heavily contested on all your shots. You won't be able to shoot consistently. Orlando in Chicago put out a tweet yesterday saying, asking the question, did the quick draw badge replace being able to choose the speed of our release when picking a jump shot? And Mike Wang simply replied, yes. You can no longer have a custom jump shot and max out the speed. The only way this badge won't be important is if somebody finds an exploit and you could still have a fast jumper without quick draw. But from what I'm hearing, there's going to be no way to be able to do that. You must have quick draw if you want the ball to go out of your hands fast. At number 3, we've finally gotten to the top 3 best badges in NBA 2K20. And at number 3, I have difficult shots. Now, the reason I have difficult shots is because this affects so many things. If you're in takeover, you could do, not even if you're in takeover, any time during the game, you could do step backs, spin, moving shots from anywhere. If you have these shooting badges I've mentioned, and you have difficult shots, you're not going to be missing moving shots. You're going to be able to hit moving shots so consistently. You'll be able to do all the step backs, all the spin jumpers, anything, all the Ticino type moves, Difficult shots is literally one of the best badges each year, especially for shot creators. But when you have all these sharpshooting badges and you have difficult shots on Hall of Fame, it is an absolute monster of a build. You cannot guard a build with difficult on Hall of Fame and all these Hall of Fame shooting badges that I'm going to show you when I actually make my build. Guys, trust me, if you feel comfortable taking moving shots, all you need is a little bit of space. You take a moving shot, and it's basically going in 90% of the time. Difficult shots, my opinion, that's number 3. Let's go on to the second best badge in the NBA 2K20. The second best shooting badge in NBA 2K20, in my opinion. I was so close to place number 1. This is basically 1A and 1B between the first place and second place. But like, both these badges are make or breaks for shooting builds. Like, you need both these badges on Hall of Fame. There's absolutely no debate. But at 1B, I'm gonna call it. I picked Deadeye. Now the reason Deadeye is even better than it was last year. Trust me, deep range Deadeye last year was absurd. Alright, you could shoot over heads like crazy, especially at the start of the year. But now the badge got even better because instead of deep range Deadeye, instead of mid range Deadeye, it's just called Deadeye. So if you put Deadeye in Hall of Fame, you're basically putting deep range Deadeye in Hall of Fame and mid range Deadeye in Hall of Fame. Like, oh my goodness, if you have Hall of Fame difficult, like I just talked about, and you basically also have mid range Deadeye in Hall of Fame on a sharpshooter, like, you're basically a pure shot creator and a pure sharpshooter. You could literally fade from anywhere. This Deadeye badge, you will be able to hit contested mids, contested threes so consistently, shoot overheads, be toxic. You must have this badge in the Hall of Fame. There's really not much explaining I have to do to convince you guys that this is definitely one of the best badges in NBA 2K20. Deadeye, put it on Hall of Fame, lock it in. Let's go to the best badge in NBA 2K20. And for the number 1 shooting badge in NBA 2K20, we have now called Range Extender. Used to be called Limitless Range. That's the exact same thing I heard. And this badge single-handedly made people choose pure sharps instead of pure stretches. Like, basically, the only difference between a stretch and a sharp last year was that sharps got limitless range on Hall of Fame, stretches got on gold, and just because of that, so many people picked the pure sharp because this badge, when they say, you know, when it used to be called limitless range, and when they say limitless range, they really do mean limitless range. Like, you guys have seen me play last year, like, I was shooting from anywhere consistently. Even white. You could white a shot from about 25 feet, 30 feet, 35 feet. That shit's going in consistently. And if you know your jump shot timing, you are basically impossible to guard because you could shoot the ball the second you go up the court. If you're playing amateurs, they're going to be slacking off you a lot. They're not going to be able to think you can shoot from that deep. You got limits in the Hall of Fame. It's a wrap. I am telling you, that badge is going to be so deadly like it is every year. It's a game-breaking badge. It's debatably not just the best shooting badge, but the best badge in the entire game. And I'm not capping when I say that. Range Extender on Hall of Fame. Make sure you have that build on every single one of your shooters, or I'm telling you, you could have made a better shooter because Range Extender is just way too important of a badge. Now, for the honorable mentions, I need to include Slippery Off Ball. Now, the reason I did not have Slippery Off Ball in my top 10 is because there's always going to be exploits like Dexing, AAing, and even if they take those away, I'm telling you, people will find something else. Slippery Off Ball isn't necessary to still be effective off ball. Yeah, it'll help a little bit, but in my opinion, these badges were just a little bit more important than Slippery Off Ball. But if you really like Slippery Off Ball, go ahead and put it on. Hot Start, I didn't include on this list because it's very specific. If you miss your first shot of the game, this badge has no effect for the entire rest of the game. I wanted badges that apply in more scenarios, not just one, and that's why I didn't include Hot Start. And Clutch Shooter, same reason as Hot Start. It's just, you know, it's too specific. Typically, I don't let games get too close anyway, so Clutch Shooter isn't really a big deal for me. If you have all, you know, the shooting badges that I mentioned, you should be able to shoot in clutch moments anyway. I just didn't feel like Clutch Shooter was necessary. But yeah, if you guys made this far into the video, you know, and you enjoyed it, which you clearly did if you made it this far, please be sure, you know, to subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be dropping some crazy 2K20 videos. You're definitely not going to want to miss any of that. So subscribe, turn on post notifications, like the video if you enjoyed. Tell me if you disagree with me, agree with me in the comment section below. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one, alright? I'm out. Peace.